Hello Virgo, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Star Tarot by Kathy McLeland. There's a website for Kathy McLeland if you're interested, you want to check her stuff out. I like this deck. I think it's pretty cool. Supportive Oracle cards are Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. Websites for Sandra, they're all Hay House websites. There we go. So there, feel free to freeze frame on that. Hopefully that focuses so you can read it if you want that information. There's also Hay House Radio here on the back. So if you're interested and you want to check it out, feel free to check it out. There's a picture of Sandra too, so that's pretty cool. Okay, what do we have for Virgo? Well, that's an interesting start. Ooh. Your cards are all good. Let's see what you're dealing with. Well, as long as your cards are good, right? As long as your cards are good. Okay. Somebody else could use a little bit more stability. Virgo tends to be good with stability, I think. I don't know, most times Virgo's pretty good with stability. It's an earth sign. The base energy of Virgo is usually about stability. You and Capricorn and Taurus, earth, stability, dependability, process, being loyal to the process, sticking with the same process that works, stuff like that. Okay, what is happening here? Because how are you even getting involved in this is my question. Because literally, you got the Magician card pulling you, like, you're like, okay, I want this, but it's kind of like, it's making me wonder why. I think, is this elective, or are you doing it? Like, if it's not elective, I'd be thinking it was like a business thing, or something, or a family thing, where you're just like, no, I gotta do that. So you got the Two of Cups, that came out twice, and the Magician again. No, this is, you don't have to do this, is what I'm thinking. You want to do this. And it's all about how you're going towards it. I think this is so ironic. I think of Virgo as a planner sometimes. I feel like you guys hold back. And when it looks really good, then you move forward. I don't see you guys just jumping forward. But the way you plan is kind of like, I often feel Virgo kind of like thinks about it, and then it's like, is it really worth it? How much do I really want it? And I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of contemplation here. And this is saying some of that contemplation needs to be more about you. Did I put this the wrong way? Maybe I did. Some of this contemplation needs to be more about you. More about you. I know I keep saying that. It sounds selfish, but it's not. You have to be more in the thought process. Because I see the Two of Cups coming in twice. And I feel like, you really care about who you're helping. You're really caring about what they have happen. Something about them, it almost feels like you need to help them. You care about them. They're not doing so well. You want to help them. But ironically, you need to put yourself more in the mix. Because this might be more of a long-term situation. And you want this to be able to survive long term in a way that really sustains you in a positive way. Like, you definitely have to do what you have to do, but even if you have to end up doing like 90% to start, you want to immediately start like gradually, like, okay, you do 85%, blah 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 blah, down to like either 50 or whatever the appropriate portion should be for you. Immediately you want to start it off like, this is how I'm doing it right now, but this is where we're heading. Kind of like, if you're helping somebody, maybe it's an elderly person or somebody who's sick or whatever, you're going to be like, okay, you need help with this, and on this day I'll help you. I'll plan what the meal is going to be. I'll get the supplies. I'll even bring it to your house and make it. But this isn't how it's always going to be. This is just the first couple weeks. After 2 weeks pass, I need you to start deciding what you want and giving me, like, this is what you want to make. And then I'll get it, and I'll help you make it. then, as we keep going forward, you're like trying to get to the point. Maybe the point you're trying to get to is where you just go pick up the stuff for them, help them a little bit when they make it, and you just maybe enjoy dinner with them. Maybe that's the long-term goal. You don't want to always be planning the whole thing, getting all the stuff, making everything, and then doing the dishes afterwards. You want to like make it so you hit the goal of like, all right, they tell me what they need, I go get it. I maybe help them do a little bit of the cooking, maybe, or maybe I help them do a little bit of the cleanup, maybe. But mostly the main goal is to get the items for them, not do the whole shebang. And maybe that's I don't know if that's too simple of an explanation, but that's basically what we want to head towards. Because I feel like if you don't think this out, you're going to start just doing everything, and you're not going to plan this out where you gradually do less. And it seems like it makes it a big challenge to like evolve this forward. It's not good for you or them to constantly do everything. It's not. There's some stress with this. I understand that this person is overwhelmed. So, because I feel it. And just, they're overwhelmed. I'm not trying to make light of that, so I hope it doesn't sound like I am. But if it's an anxiety, if you think it's an anxiety thing, you don't want to tell somebody they have something unless you have like the training for it, then you literally know what you're talking about. Even then, I don't think that's a good idea. But still, find ways to get them help to where they can talk to a therapist. Katie Morton, maybe it's Morton. I think there's like if you try to look up like anxiety people, I think a lot of them have like this service. You can start connecting with it online to find a therapist. I don't remember what it was called, but maybe somebody in the comments will put it if it's valid. Basically, advise them to go see a therapist, or maybe get them some names of some therapists and encourage them to call one. I don't know if that's too much, or if that's too liberal. It might be. I don't know. You have to decide for your own situation. If there's anxiety, and really, because I felt that, it was really like, it came in. I think the point of that is to say, the person you're helping, it may seem like you can help them, but the true problem might need more serious attention to really bring forth the balance and the stability that they really need to be more happy and productive, or at least happier and more productive in their own life. Because there's a big change going on here. There's a lot of stress. There's a big change. Some people are going through a temporary change, like maybe they lost a spouse, or maybe they lost a job, or something like that. That once they move past this, they'll be okay. Even though that seems like it's a temporary thing, therapy might therapy might not only help them get out of this quicker, but it might teach them more. What do you call those things? Like better survival patterns, or maybe identify survival patterns that don't really work in their favor anymore. It might help them cope with this type of thing in the future easier, because life is like that. Like, it's a roller coaster, is it not? I think so. Anybody who says they have the great life, I think, is lying. But that's a whole thing. We won't go there. I won't even bother. I really do, though. Nobody has the great life from beginning to end. Some people have periods where life is really good, but like we all have hard times. There's always the desert period. It's just, that's how it is. I probably shouldn't have said it, but I did. There we go. Anyway, moving on. The stress will pass for this person. There is the concern, though, that it might like not really pass. It might just be like, for some of you, this person is constantly having a hard time, but normally they hide it. It's just they got so overwhelmed recently that they just couldn't hide it, I guess, because it became so overbearing. So that might be something to think about. It might be something where this person usually does have this pain. It's just it became so heavy at this point that they just couldn't even hide it anymore. Therapy would be very helpful, or something like that. I don't know what you can do with that, but I feel like they're just kind of putting it out there, like, who you're helping here, you're doing great. That's a wonderful thing, and you are effective. But the source or the base of the problem may be beyond you, which is not bad, but giving people options, trying to help them, trying to give them other ways to handle things. I keep getting therapy over and over. I don't know what to say. So I hope that doesn't sound bad for anybody. Take it with a grain of salt. You don't like it, move on from it. Don't worry about it. Because whoever this is going into a new phase soon. So I feel like by the time the year is out, whoever this is, if this reading connects with you, of course, they're going to move into a better period. We just want them empowered to be... We just really want them empowered. I'm really confident you want them empowered to enjoy it to their fullest, because you do care about this person greatly, whoever it is. You want them to be able to truly enjoy it and not have things holding them back. The world coming in with the King of Cups is telling me, don't get caught up in the gender, but like they're going to feel more in control by the end of this year, and they're going to get back on top of things. But having better ways to cope with life, I can't think of what you call that. You know, when you have these ways of dealing with life. And, like, I use Paul McKenna a lot. Paul McKenna is a British author. I love that guy. He's awesome. But there's, like, techniques you can use, and I constantly use these techniques. Like, when life gets a little bit heavy or people get a bit ridiculous. Really? Life? People? Ridiculous? How does that happen? You know what I mean. Where you could just detach from people and not let it hold you down and reallocate things so that you feel more empowered. Something you might also be able to provide... Like, all right, you're an earth sign. Earth signs tend to value monetary things, but usually, just because earth signs value monetary things, I've noticed that a lot of them, at least the ones I seem to go around, have a balance with it. Kind of like, you don't need to have crazy amounts of things. You don't need to have like this ridiculous house and this beautiful car and a jet out and whatever. You don't need all these ridiculous things. What you need is you need to work for what you want, hopefully. You need to take care of what you have, and you need to just be appreciative of it, and you value what you have. I feel like people miss that. I don't think of earth signs as greedy. I think of earth signs as like when they have something, they tend to take care of it well, and they value it, and they get stuff that they want to last, and they're very smart and conscious about what they spend their money on. And they invest. It's kind of like invest. They tend to invest in people too. But you might be able to teach this person, like, you don't need a ridiculous amount of money to be happy. You just got to realize how much do you really need. Like the car you have. Yes, I respect. You want one that looks nice. You want one that has maybe a nice sound system and has a nice way of driving. But you don't need the top of the line to be happy with that. I don't really have a lot of earth in my chart, but I feel like I have a lot of earth attitude sometimes because... And you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this is an earth thing. I have a car. My car is a nice car, but it's a modest car. It looks nice, takes me where I want to go. I don't have to worry about it getting me there. And I can listen to music if I want to, but it's all, like, it's not a ridiculous price tag. It's modest because I don't spend a lot of time in my car, and I'm like, I just don't feel like it's worth spending a ridiculous amount of money on a car, personally. Having a nice one, I get that. Having something that's dependable, extremely important. But we don't need to go crazy top of the line. And I feel like you might be able to pass this forward, kind of like, yes, have good things, have things you like, take care of the things you have. But we don't have to, like, who are we impressing? Are you really enjoying, like, this $50,000 car that you drive, 20 minutes one way, 20 minutes back most days? Like, is it really worth it? Like, if you had one that was 20 or maybe a little less, 20,000, 15,000, would you still be enjoying the drive just as much? Would it matter? Like, does the price tag, is it really that important? I don't know, let me know if I'm off on that one, because I feel like that's how earth signs are. It's kind of like just, you value what you have. You don't have to have the top of the line. You just value what you have. You're more practical. Like, does it really work? Does it make sense? Do we really need that top of the line? And you might be able to further this attitude onto this person, kind of like, before you drive yourself cuckoo, let's think about what you're going for. Do you really need that crazy job to have all those crazy things? Maybe find a job that's more modest, and then your sanity is much more attainable. Maybe. There's this one last thing that's kind of popping in here. I'm going to throw it in here. I think this is like an evolving earth thing, because when I was younger, it seemed like I knew a lot of earth people that definitely had work harder to get ahead type attitude. It seems to kind of come forward in a different way. Work smarter and apply your hard work to something that serves you. So it seems like that's moved. Am I saying it right? Like it used to be when I was younger. I'm 47, whatever. Um, like so when I was in my teens, especially, I remember people had this very big like work harder to get ahead. You got to work harder. If you work hard, you get what you want. And I think we've kind of moved past that because I used to think work smarter was a better thing. And I still do think work smarter is a better thing, but it seems to be evolving for Earth more kind of like think about where you're applying your time, think about what you're working hard towards, only apply your energy to things that truly serve you. When you find something that's worth it, and it serves you, that's where you work harder to get ahead. That's where you work harder to prosper. You can't just work harder just for the sake of working harder, because that's not going to work. You gotta think about it. You gotta sort it out. What is serving me? What do I want from this? And when I work harder, do I get back what I deserve? Do I get ahead? Or am I just working harder where somebody says, oh, just one day your time will come, which is called, bullshit, where they just kind of string you along. Oh, look, 20 years later, your time never come. Well, that's okay. You did a lot of good work. Thanks for retiring. Whatever. I feel like that's an Earth thing now. Like, it's not just about work harder. It's like, wait a minute, evaluate that. And I wonder if maybe it always was. Maybe I just didn't see it that way. But work harder on what serves you. Work harder on what pays you back the way it should. Keep evaluating it. Keep looking at it. Don't go into these things blindly. Think about, what are you getting out of it? Is it worth it? Do you like what you're getting out of it? How long is acceptable to work harder for something, and is it showing itself? Because if it's not, maybe it's time to work somewhere else. I'm just saying. Seems like an evolving Earth attitude, but you guys let me know. Anything else? All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below the same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.